Hi everyone, good to see you. Thank you for coming back. As you can see, I'm in Paris, so a little Parisian touch. Today, it's been a little less than a week, 6 days. I'm getting adjusted. I know that typically for me it takes some time to adjust to a new city. And when I have to leave the seaside, I'm a little grumpy when I come to a new place. That's why, and also the first week has been raining and cold, so I'm adjusting and getting used to it. And it's a lovely place. It's good to be here, and I'm really happy and feel blessed that I have a chance to explore. And I'm already planning the next move because I'm only here for a month, so I need to work on the next steps. It has taken a lot of mental energy and other resources that I have to deal with that. From the updates, I have been working on a course with a coach, a life coach. She's also a friend of mine. And we are now working on a pretty short, like 1 month course on everyday aesthetics and how to improve your life satisfaction and happiness through small daily things that add beauty to your life and also add to your awareness and the feeling of being present. I'm also working on research in psychology and different modalities and kind of the educational part of it, and simultaneously on making sure that financial part of my life is taken care of, which means I'm looking for a job. So a lot of things to take care of, a lot of divergent focus, but I'm trying to keep it somehow under control. And let's move on to the topic that I really wanted to talk to you about and actually started doing this video because just before recording the video, I recorded the message for a friend of mine that was about the same topic, and I realized it's something that is very deep for me and something that I believe can also be helpful for you, especially if you are in the field of spirituality, if personal development is important for you, or you are potentially practicing in those fields, or you have been involved with them for quite some time. And that is the idea of how when we work on self-development, self-growth, spirituality, it often happens that we skip the basic parts. Let me explain. I have been in this field of, as I said, personal development, psychology, spirituality, growth, healing for at least 14 years. My journey started with a sickness. And I've had a chronic condition, debilitating chronic condition for a long time, and which means that I have tried everything under the sun to actually heal it. I was interested, or I have been interested in spirituality since I was a kid, but that was the specific event that sort of triggered that more systemic, more dedicated search for answers. For solutions for the healing. And now I managed to heal that sickness with a year of meditation. Nothing else ever worked for at least, more than a month, maybe half a year. It always came back. Even now, sometimes I know if I'm stressed, if I'm triggered, it can flare up a little bit, but not as it could have, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 7 years ago. And what I realize is that we all know right now, I think quantum thinking, quantum psychology, spirituality is a big word everywhere. And there's also so many things that are kind of out there. And I do have my own story of healing through meditation, through changing your mindset, through changing your view of the world, of yourself. And I do truly believe that it can change your life, really working on your mindset, working on your psychology, on your traumas, healing. That is really the answer for so many things in your life if your life is not working out. However, what I also noticed, and what I'm working on right now, because I finally started to kind of go out there and talk about it, and also now I'm working on products or services or offers. So I'm taking this, my personal journey, into the world. And actually, now there's a relationship element between me and the other person, me and you, right? And for future clients, people I'll be working with. And I realize that because I have been on this journey personally, internally, in seclusion for so long, I don't have a way how to build healthy relationship with the system and with other people, and how to share that in a very sustainable, healthy, and useful for both of us manner. What I'm trying to say is that for a lot of us, and I think for some people maybe outside of the field of, again, personal development, there is this disconnect between non-material and material, right? So, because for a lot of us, for me personally, my gurus, sort of, or my people I look up to, were, for example, Dalai Lama, right? It's someone who I respect deeply. I would not be looking at Elon Musk, for example, for inspiration. I would be looking for someone else. I do have, of course, figures that I admire in business world, but it would be also people who are different. For example, I would be looking up to Richard Branson, but I would not admire Jeff Bezos. When you are on a spiritual journey, we have different values that we live by, and we do have different goals, or no goals whatsoever, right? You know, sometimes you just want to be in the moment. But what happens is that, as well as I've now learning how to, earn money with my own services, and I've been an entrepreneur before. I had my own businesses, but before it was just a service, something that I was not exactly passionate about. But now it's something that I'm truly passionate about and I truly believe in, and it's very personal for me. And it's also, I'm selling my own expertise, right? Before I was selling, for example, when I had a language school, that was expertise of my teachers, of my tutors, of me as well. But there was this, it was easy to hide behind the name of the school. Now it's just me. And a lot of different processes, a lot of different limiting beliefs come up. And I've been learning about money mindset, or the way we approach the world, how we show ourselves to the world and show up with our own offers, with our own truth, with our own products and services. And it's very different, and it's extremely difficult. Because, as I said, when you are on the spiritual journey, you focus very much on the non-material things, and you feel like this is what is important to me, or that's the most important to me. And very often we ignore the material elements of this journey, or of this development. But now it's time to actually look into the material things, material element of everything, and it's painful. It is very painful, because what I also realize is that a lot of us, and me for sure, I think a lot of that decision to go into spirituality and sort of ignore the material was made because looking into material, looking into the traumatic beliefs, the hard things that are very deep in your psychology, that drive those behaviors in the material world, can actually almost kill you, right, in a way. So the traumas, the fears, something that we are not particularly proud of, there's a lot of shame there, insecurities. If you really look into that, at maybe at young age, I thought I would die. It would be that painful. It will be unbearable to look into it. So I chose spirituality. That was easier, safer, more understandable, and also I wouldn't have to look into, the deep seated beliefs that I had about me and the world. But now I am at that stage and that level that I know that I have to look into them to move to the different level, to the next level, but also like it's time if I really want to develop. And also there is this understanding that it's not about one or the other, it's not the opposite, right? It's all about holistic development. It's about wholeness of life. We have material and non-material, right? It's the duality of life, which means in order to go beyond that, we have to resolve both of those elements, both of those parts of ourselves, the non-material, the material, the soul, and the mind, money, and the riches of the spiritual development, of nirvana, of liberation from this world, which means that now what I'm learning about, what I'm diving into, what I'm very scared of, but have to go into is my relationship with money, my relationship with shame, my relationship with safety, with showing myself, showing up in the world, with expression, with the shining of who I am, because deep within, I'm not sure who I am, or again, maybe the world will not accept me. And there's so many things that I have to look into and to face those demons that have been keeping me stuck in this position of spirituality is good, materialism is bad. And it's hard. It is truly, there are a lot of things deep down there that I don't want to face. And I think it's a lot of us. It's much easier to run away in one or the other. If you're more into material things, it's easier to run to make more money and be more busy and do all of those things rather than look inside and say like, oh, what does my soul want? Maybe I want to be drawing. Maybe I want to be a painter. Maybe I want to be a traveler. Maybe I want to be a boxer. But it's easier to just sort of lose yourself into the race of earning more money, being more successful, being more recognized in whatever field that you are. And the opposite, for those in the more spiritual self-development community, it's much easier to go for another course, learn another technique, open your chakras once again, and sort of continue that development without going into the world and opening up and sharing what you already know and showing who you are truly, for all the fears of being rejected, not being taken seriously, being laughed at. Those are mine. And of course it does require this very stable inner core to do that, and it does come with experience and that development and those knowing yourself, but it also comes with actions. So what I want to leave you with is that I believe that the true purpose of human development is not to try to run either in one extreme or the other, but to actually integrate those, and to have this holistic being that has enough space to accept and to contain both of those extremes. So this is the material and the non-material, the spiritual and the scientific, feelings and the analytical mind. And this is what I'm working on. I realized that my relationship with money is not great. And there's a lot of fear, as you've seen in the previous videos, about showing up in the world, about sharing my own truth, and actually doing it sustainably, right? Which means earning money as well with that. And if we look at development of your kind of behavior with money, your driving motives behind your behavior with money, and if we look at it at levels, right? So the most basic, and then you develop, and then you grow and you grow. I am very good at the very top levels of creation of the kind of quantum model, right? On the non-linear mindset. And I really know how to work there. But I also know that I missed a lot of the basic stuff, basic feeling of safety, letting go of control and being in the unknown. Also, well, shame, as I said, right? I also realized respect is a big deal for me. To build those connections with others, not through a lens of who's better, who's worse, we're competing, we're different, who's better. And also I think I shared a little bit about that, how I often behave with men, what I'm trying to compete with them rather than showing up in a more female energies and accepting sort of the male energies, but which is a very different story here. But respect is a big one, which first starts with respect to myself, seeing the intrinsic value in me, seeing the intrinsic value in another person, no matter the functions, no matter the life stories, no matter the level of success or coolness or interest or talent or whatever it is. It's a lot. It's very difficult. I am not looking forward to that because I know I have to dig deep into the darkest parts of me to face those demons, to look at those tiny parts of me that have been neglected, that have been ignored, that have been sitting in those dark rooms of my subconscious for a very long time, who have been driving my behavior for so long, but who I did not recognize, accept, and integrate. So those disintegrated parts of me that have been having a huge impact on my life, but who I did not recognize, see, ignored, was afraid of. So it's time to go within, while at the same time working on putting things out there, on creating things, on already showing and giving what I have, on creating that value, and at the same time seeing that my personal internal value does not depend on what I do or how I show up, but it's intrinsic because I am part of this world, and that is good enough. So thank you once again for being here, and I wish you a very good day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.